Hey everyone, welcome back to the Shield Media Podcast Show. I'm Lex,
And I'm Vera.
and we are diving into some really interesting stuff today that can make a big difference for your business.
Yeah, we're going to go deep on SERP features.
Yep. Ooh,
Those things that pop up on a Google search results page beyond the usual list of blue links.
right.
It's all about how to make those features work for you, especially if you're a business owner or executive looking to level up your online presence.
Think about featured snippets, knowledge panels, image carousels.
Yeah.
They all change how people find information and choose businesses. And we actually came across a Search Engine Journal webinar
Oh, nice.
led by Tom Capper,
I know Tom.
senior search scientist at Stat,
Yeah, they're great.
that really digs into this.
Yeah.
And they're known for their data-driven approach.
Uh-huh.
So it's not just theory, it's about what's actually happening out there.
And that's what makes this so relevant for you. The webinar reveals some pretty eye-opening stats on how these SERP features are changing the game.
Right.
For example, it highlights that image carousels are now appearing in over 30% of searches related to restaurants.
Wow.
That's huge, especially for any business owner in the food industry.
Absolutely.
Think about it. If you're not showing up in those carousels, you're missing out on a ton of potential customers.
Okay, so image carousels are big,
Mm-hmm.
but there are a lot of other features too, right? How does the webinar help businesses make sense of it all?
It goes beyond just identifying what's out there.
Okay.
The webinar promises to show attendees how to craft their own SERP feature strategy.
This sounds like a real actionable takeaway.
It is. It's about moving beyond general knowledge and understanding how to use data to create a customized approach. That's where real competitive advantage lies.
So let's say you're a bakery owner here in Austin.
Okay.
What would that look like in practice? How do you go from data to a real strategy?
Well, this webinar provides data on the prevalence and share of voice of the top 5 SERP features, so you'll discover which features dominate your specific industry and location for our Austin Baker Peg. The webinar might show that local packs are incredibly prominent for bakery-related searches in Austin, knowing that the owner can focus on optimizing their Google business profile to really stand out in those local packs.
Oh, that's interesting.
They could even use Google Posts to showcase seasonal specials or mouth-watering photos of their latest creations directly on the search results page.
So it's about using that data to prioritize, to figure out where to put your effort for maximum impact. It's not about trying to do everything at once. It's about picking your battles.
Exactly, and the webinar helps you choose the right battles for your business. This is where things get really interesting, because it's about understanding what Google is looking for and aligning your content with those expectations.
That sounds like a pretty powerful way to level up your SEO game. We're going to unpack all of this and more in just a bit.
And if you're in the Western U.S. and want to learn more about how to make these strategies work for you, make sure to stick around. We'll have some important information about that later in the episode.
But before we move on, I'm curious, what would you say is the biggest takeaway from this webinar for businesses looking to stand out in search?
It's not enough to just know about SERP features. You have to use that knowledge actively. The webinar emphasizes the need to incorporate these features into your overall SEO strategy. It's about going beyond just keywords and thinking about how to optimize for the entire search experience. We've been talking about how SERP features are reshaping the search landscape and why they're so crucial for businesses to understand.
Yeah, it's clear these features aren't just a trend, they're the new normal, and they really impact how people discover and interact with businesses online.
Exactly. So let's get practical.
Okay.
How can businesses actually leverage these features to their advantage?
That's the million-dollar question, right? We've touched on featured snippets and how valuable they can be. So let's dig into those a bit more. What does it actually take to optimize for them?
It's a combination of understanding user intent
Right.
and structuring your content strategically. Think about the questions your customers are asking, the problems they're trying to solve.
Right.
You can use tools like Google Search Console to see what people are already searching for related to your industry, or even just pay attention to the people also ask boxes that pop up on Google.
So you're saying instead of just guessing, you can actually see what questions people are typing into Google. That's a great starting point.
It is. And once you have those questions,
Yeah.
you need to craft clear, concise answers that Google can easily pull into a featured snippet.
Okay.
Think about using bullet points, numbered lists, or short paragraphs to break down the information.
It's almost like you're anticipating what Google is looking for and serving it up on a silver platter.
You could say that the key is to structure your content in a way that makes it easy for Google to understand and extract the most relevant information.
Okay, so structure is important, but isn't there more to it than just formatting? What about the content itself?
Absolutely. Don't underestimate the power of high-quality original content. You can have the best formatting in the world, But if your content is thin or lacks substance, Google won't consider it valuable enough to feature. And remember, it's not just about pleasing Google, it's about providing real value to your audience.
Right. This is where expertise and a deep understanding of your industry really come into play.
Precisely now, beyond featured snippets, there's a whole world of other SERP features that can boost your visibility. We mentioned knowledge panels earlier. They're like mini websites for your business right there on the search results page, packed with information, reviews, even photos.
Yeah, those are super impactful, especially for local businesses. But how much control do you actually have over what shows up in a knowledge panel?
This is where your Google My Business profile becomes your best friend. Google pulls most of the information for knowledge panels from your GMB listing, so making sure your profile is complete, accurate, and engaging is absolutely crucial. Think about it as your storefront on Google. You want it to be inviting, informative, and reflect the best of what your business offers.
So it's not just about setting up your GMB profile and forgetting about it.
Uh,
You have to keep it updated, fresh, and make sure it represents you well.
Exactly. And remember, reviews play a huge role here. Positive reviews can make a significant difference in attracting customers and even influencing your ranking in local packs. So encourage your happy customers to leave reviews, respond to both positive and negative feedback, and show that you care about what people are saying.
It's all about building that trust and credibility online, and I imagine images play a big role too, right?
Yeah.
Especially since we were talking about image carousels earlier.
Absolutely. Images are crucial for making your GMB profile and your website visually appealing. Don't just settle for generic stock photos. Use high-quality images that showcase your products, your services, your team, and your unique brand personality.
It's about bringing your business to life online and giving people a real sense of what you're all about.
Precisely. Now, we've covered a lot of ground here, but I want to touch on one more technical aspect that can really make a difference in how Google understands your content schema markup.
That's a term I've heard thrown around a lot. But I'll admit, it still sounds a bit like a foreign language to me. Can you break it down for us?
Sure, think of schema markup as a way of adding labels to the different elements on your website. You're basically telling Google, hey, this is my business name, this is my address, this is a customer review, and so on. It's all about making it crystal clear for Google what your content is about and how it should be categorized.
So it's like giving Google a roadmap to navigate your website and understand the context of your content. Sounds like it could be worth the effort to figure out.
It definitely can be, especially if you're in a competitive industry. Schema markup can help your website appear in more relevant SERP features like rich snippets or knowledge graph results.
This is all great stuff, but I imagine keeping up with all these changes and updates can feel overwhelming for business owners.
Yeah.
What's your advice on staying ahead of the curve?
It's all about continuous learning. The world of SEO is constantly evolving, so staying informed is key. Make it a habit to read industry blogs and publications like Search Engine Journal Moz, or even follow reputable digital marketing agencies on social media for the latest trends and insights.
Speaking of reputable digital marketing agencies, we happen to know a pretty great one.
We do, and if you're in the Western U.S. and looking for expert guidance on navigating all these changes and optimizing your online presence, Shield Media is here to help. We specialize in helping businesses like yours conquer local SEO, PPC, and social media marketing.
You know, it's one thing to understand these concepts, but actually putting them into practice can be a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
That's where working with experts can really make a difference.
Absolutely, and that's what we're passionate about at Shield Media. We take the guesswork out of digital marketing and help you achieve real results.
Now, before we jump into the final part of this episode, I want to shift gears a bit and talk about the bigger picture. What do all these changes in SERP features tell us about the future of search? Where do you see things headed? We've been unpacking a lot about SERP features, how they're changing, and what that means for businesses.
It's definitely a dynamic landscape,
For sure.
but that's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
It's all about adapting, staying ahead of the curve, and ultimately using these changes to connect with your audience in more meaningful ways.
I like that perspective. So much of digital marketing is about embracing the evolution rather than fearing it. Before we wrap up, let's distill everything we've discussed into some key takeaways for our listeners. Where should businesses be focusing their efforts when it comes to SERP features in 2024 and beyond?
First and foremost,
Okay.
understand that the search landscape is a moving target.
Right.
What worked yesterday might not work today, so it's crucial to stay informed about the latest trends and be willing to adapt your strategies.
Flexibility is key, and that's where resources like industry blogs, webinars, and following experts in the field can make a big difference.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about trying to optimize for every single SRP feature under the sun.
Right.
Focus on the features that are most relevant to your business goals and your target audience. Use data to guide your strategy and prioritize your efforts for maximum impact.
This is where understanding your audience and their search intent becomes so critical. You have to think about what they're searching for, what questions they're asking, and how you can provide the most relevant and valuable answers.
Absolutely. It's about thinking beyond just keywords and considering the entire search experience.
Yeah.
How can you make your website and your online presence as user-friendly and informative as possible? How can you anticipate user needs and provide the information they're looking for in the most engaging and accessible way?
It sounds like a lot to consider, but it all boils down to providing a positive user experience both on and off your website.
That's what Google is ultimately rewarding, and that's what will drive real results for your business.
Now, I know many business owners and executives listening are probably thinking, this is all great information, but I'm already juggling a million things.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to find the time and resources to stay on top of all of this?
That's a valid concern, and that's why we're here to help if you're in the Western U.S. and feeling overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of digital marketing. Shield Media can be your trusted guide. We specialize in helping businesses like yours navigate the complexities of SEO, PPC, and social media marketing.
We're passionate about helping our clients achieve real, measurable results, whether that's increased website traffic, more leads, or ultimately more sales.
We believe that every business deserves a strong online presence, and we're here to make that happen, so don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to answer your questions, provide guidance, and help you develop a winning digital marketing strategy.
We've covered a lot of ground today, but the conversation doesn't end here. Be sure to follow Shield Media on social media and subscribe to our podcast for more insights and tips on how to navigate the ever-evolving world of digital marketing.
And remember, the world of search is full of possibilities. Embrace the challenge, stay curious, and never stop learning.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.